Hello guys. I am very, very sorry. What I did was I started recording and then I closed my laptop. Things went haywire, so we did all the notes. I'm here to explain them to you again. So you're gonna have to pause a lot in this video. Hey, whisper. You're gonna have to pause a lot during this video because I already have it all worked out. So this is the initial problem that we had to do. So pause right now and copy it down. What we talked about in this, and we're continuing the notes from yesterday if you haven't figured that out. What we talked about in this is what you're going to have to do to divide fractions is you're going to have to flip the second fraction and turn it to multiply. And this is the answer if you got it right. So go ahead and pause the video until you can see if you got it right. Pause, pause, pause. All right, I'm assuming that you paused. So this right here is the X box you would have had to use to factor the top. Down here, they took out a 8 and a p squared right here and was left with a 3p minus 1. Over here, they took out they flipped it, so this is that 24 bit up here, but they took out a 12p to the third, and we're left out with a 2p minus 3. And down here, they took out a 9 and was left with a p plus 4. And then they started canceling things. So the p plus 4s went, the 3p minus 1s went, and then the numbers just started canceling out. Like this one was a p cubed up here and a p squared down there, so they canceled out the p squared and then just left a p up here, and so on. The numbers started canceling out the 12s and the 9s, the 8, and you're left with this right here. All right. 3 more examples. If you're like, this is going too fast, you have control. Pause it. All right, the next question was this by itself. So go ahead and write it down. I guess there was no 2 there either. So it was 5 over 9x squared plus 1 over 6x. And then we talked about how if you're adding fractions, you have to find a common denominator. So they decided that what 9x squared and 6x both went into are 18x squared. So to get to 18x squared, on this one, they multiplied by 2 on the bottom and the top. And on this one, to get to 18x squared, they multiplied by 3x on the bottom and the top. And then if you simplify, it's just 10 plus 3x over 18x squared. 9 was a little trickier. Example 9 looks like this. Y over y minus 2 and 8 over 2 minus y. So we had to make the bottoms the same, but they look similar right now, but they're not the same. One side is y minus 2, the other is 2 minus y. So on the left side, the y is positive and there's a negative 2. On the right side, we've got a positive 2 and a negative y. But then who was the one who thought of multiplying by a negative 1? Emma, did you get a prize for that? Go get it. So then Emma said that we should multiply by a negative 1 on the top and bottom, of course, because it's a common denominator, which made, if you distribute that negative 1 to both of them, you get a negative 2 and a positive y, which is exactly the same denominator on both. Had to multiply by that negative 1 on top, too. And then you put them together, and that's your final answer. The final one we did is this. Again, this is too fast, which of course it is. This took us like 30 minutes. Slow down, write it down. This is the original problem. After a good amount of panicking, we realized that if we factored this part right here by using just an x, we could make it into this, x plus 4 and x plus 2. And then we wanted them to be the same, and since this one already had an x plus 2, we multiplied both the top and the bottom by x plus 4, which, if you distribute to both, you end up with 4x and x squared. Here's a minus 7, so that's where this stuff came from, with the 2 factors on the bottom. The whole assignment is right here. And that should do it. Good luck.